Hello and welcome to National Focus for Tuesday, June 4, 2024. I am Adicia Burton. The headlines: Government to begin rolling out major infrastructure projects around the island. City Council and DOWASCO ready for hurricane season. And Hikefest ends on a positive note. The details of the headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. The government of Dominica is getting set to begin a series of major infrastructure projects around the island. These initiatives are being done in a bid to drive development and the economy in all sectors. One of the projects set to be undertaken is the Roseau Enhancement Project.
I wish to signal our intention to commence shortly a number of major initiatives, including the Roseau Enhancement Project, for which funding has been secured from the Saudi Development Fund. This was approved in the Parliament late last year, and we are putting the final touches on the project plans so that we can commence. As a matter of fact, this project is expected to go to tender in the coming weeks.
Another major project is the Future Housing Project, which targets young professionals in the island.
The Future Housing program will proceed in the month of June this year with the commencement of construction of 10 villas at Warner. They're in fact villas, This program is geared at young professionals and young people in general who wish to invest in a tangible asset to secure their own futures and as a way of building generational wealth. The Ministry of Housing is finalizing details with the contractors in order to begin mobilization for this project.
Lots under this project are available in Jimmet, Collyho, Hillsborough Gardens in St. Joseph, Canefield East and Cotton Hill for purchase. The construction of cargo port and a cruise village are also in the cards for government.
We are also working towards the start of a new modern cargo port, which will be located at Canefield, down at the industrial site area, and a new cruise village at the Woodbridge Bay. Further details on these important projects will be provided in due course. Suffice to say that we do have the funding for the cruise village, and so we're finalizing details on those.
Updates were also given on major projects such as the cable car project, the geothermal development and the international airport, all of which are expected to improve the lives of Dominicans.
The cable car development in the Roseau Valley is on schedule to add value to the tourism sector, and I shall visit the site early next week, and I will extend an invitation to the press to accompany me if you will have the time. The geothermal power plant and transmission lines from Loda to Fokole will soon come on stream to increase efficiency in electricity generation and reduce costs. And work on the international airport continues and is on schedule, taking shape as each day passes by.
Prime Minister Skerrit added that an effort to have stakeholders and citizens more involved in the major project will commence soon.
Very soon, we plan to organize a series of stakeholder tours to the site so that more of our people can see the extent of work on the ground firsthand. The fact of the matter is, there has been tremendous earth movement and other developments on the site of the international airport. And our plan is to engage the Dominican people more directly as the project progresses.
As the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season begins, the City Council is tweaking its disaster preparedness plan for an above-normal season. Mayor of Roseau, Her Worship Ermin Royer, outlined some of the City Council's plans for the upcoming hurricane season.
The City Council don't only set up for hurricane, it's an ongoing work for us. That's what we do. We are in charge of the storm drains, the little drains, the storm culverts, and with this a thing we do as the year go by. But when January reach, we kind of strengthen the first of it, because we know we get prepared like 6 months in advance to get ready for the hurricane. So right now we have a crew we have people at Glasgow trying to unblock some storm drains. We have some at Yampis, Stock Farm, we did Stock Farm, and we did some in Bafa State. So now we are doing the back drains, because you know Bafa State in the homes they have a lot of back drains. So we are clearing that now.
Her Worship says it's the City Council's job to ensure drains and culverts are cleared. She says the public also has an important role to play in disaster preparedness.
What I would like the public to know, all the people with the tall trees and overhanging, if they can prune or cut, they can call us, we can assist maybe according to where they are in helping with the debris. The people with the white goods, the idea of just putting it by the road, that's not healthy. Maybe you can call the office. We can try to assist as well, because it's hurricane season. And we used to have some challenges with the people with the galvanized fences. But for now, I can say a lot of people has put wall, so it's kind of lessened. But we want to still tell the people that have the galvanized fences that they can try to enforce it, try to fix it, because you know, any little wind, what can happen, and so on.
The safety and security of housing in the city has always been a priority.
What I can say for now is I know that the shelter they use is still available. That's the primary school where a lot of people go, because the last time when we had this little threatened little weather, a lot of people went there. So far, that's one of the places we know. And as you said, of the government, when they build resilient. So it's a form that less persons leave their home to go to the shelter because of the new homes. So I can say 90% we are getting there.
The mayor believes there is room for more personal responsibility for disaster preparedness.
Some of us, we citizens, and I say us because it's all of us, we get too complacent sometimes and laid back. We, like the public, we wait on people to always do, because I want to commend the NEP as we add that, the National Employment Program, because you see them all over, they are all over, and it's a part of assisting, they do the overhanging and so. But we, the public, we have to know to try to keep our drains in front of our door clean, try to maintain the trees that's in our yard or close to our home. So it's a good idea, and I support that idea.
She has commended the National Employment Program for its role in disaster preparedness.
The NEP is a good program. I see the NEP as something good, because in my area, Kingshill, we have those, and we have those who really do the pruning. There are days where they say it's overhanging only. There are days where they do the drains only. And there are times when they do the clean up and try to do a little beautification to keep the soil. So NEP is a good program. It's just that sometimes the public, as soon as the people clean, they just do it again. But NEP is a good program, and I want to commend the government for bringing that on board, and the people who works at the NEP, that they take their job seriously. Small as it is something, but it's a good program.
The mayor says while the NEP is relevant, there are ways in which the public can collaborate with the program.
If the team is working Bafa State, you have something to clean in your yard, or you have a little branch, you can ask the supervisor if whilst they're there, you can cut your stuff and just put it with their stuff. So when the trucks come to pick up, one thing will be done. You don't wait for when they leave and then you it makes the work, it's like they never clean. So I would urge the public to work with the NEP on that level.
General Manager of the Dominica Water and Sewerage Company, DOWASCO, Mr. Bernard Etinoff, says the company stays ready when it comes to disaster preparedness. DOWASCO provides an essential service to the public, which can be severely affected in times of natural disaster.
DOWASCO operates with a continuity of operations plan. It incorporates disaster plans, be it hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, whatever it is. And so every year before the hurricane season, we meet as a management, as a committee, to look into the plan to see how we can tweak it, taking into account the lessons learned in previous disasters, so that in the event of anything, we are ready. So far this year, we have already tweaked our continuity of operations plan. Coming out of that is our action plan as to how we activate and how we mobilize in the event of threatening disaster.
The company's disaster plan takes into account a number of critical scenarios and seeks to position the company's response strategy.
So we have, for example, in that plan, at what point in time would shut water systems down, and that is once a hurricane warning is given. A hurricane watch should be, of course, on the alert. A hurricane warning, a tropical storm warning. Some layers like to impact negatively on the rivers and the streams, make them very turbid, and so disrupt the quality of water that would supply to customers who would activate our plan. Activation here means our people would be on standby and mobilized to shut the system down at the appropriate time, usually 2 to 4 hours before the event happens or is predicted to happen. It includes, additional water storage. It includes where would station water trucks, what sort of supplies where, normally would station vehicles in areas outside of Roseau, outside of Portsmouth, in the rural areas in Granby, for example, in the Laplin community in Cassibus, would have vehicles stationed there with minimum supplies to do quick repairs so that water can be restored in the event of any disaster.
Collaboration with local government authorities is an important part of DOWASCO's disaster preparedness plans.
We make contact with the village councils as well to get additional support on the field when necessary. So community development organizations, village councils, we make contact with those persons. We have people from within who would monitor regularly any updates coming from the ODM on the projections for tropical storms or disasters, or for flood warnings. So we monitor those things closely. We have various committees even on our staff. We have, for example, a committee to look after staff welfare and staff well-being. Because, if your staff not well taken care of, you can't respond to these kinds of disasters.
DOWASCO also places emphasis on keeping the public informed in a timely manner.
We make better use of social media. Our PRO does quite a bit of that. We go out there on the media itself, not just the social media now, but traditional media houses, and we provide information. Just this morning we were doing some on DBS radio, and we intend to continue that throughout the season.
10 young men have learned a new skill as part of the Youth Development Division Youth Skills Training Program. This group took part in the small engine repair module held at R&C Auto in Canefield and facilitated by Mr. Kimball Jules.
They're trying to assist these young fellas to get to the right track. So basically, as you can see, we're just doing a little servicing of the engines and how to overhaul and repair all of the engines, from swipers down to chainsaws, lawnmowers, generators, and so forth, 4-stroke to 2-stroke engines. Trust me, they're picking up very quickly, they're understanding everything, they're doing great. Great listeners, and they ask a lot of questions, which I love. And I can say it again. They're just a good, how would I say it? They are performing very, 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 very well.
One participant, Mr. Thaddeus Winston, says he hopes that this program can be the foundation to build a better future.
I studied this small engine course to try and build a foundation so that later on in life I can hold my own. So I really want to, I have big hopes from this small course that might just take me far if I live with God spare my life. And I really want to see myself really excelling from this position right where I started to somewhere further.
Another participant, Mr. Tyrell Francis, thanked the Youth Development Division for this investment in his life.
And to start off with thanking Youth Division and my instructor, Mr. Kimball Jules. For the past time, when we had just started, it was Fury started taking our notes. And while time go, he started teaching us on the outboard, because that was the first thing at first. And then we started on them generator and grass cutter. So I started to learn a lot of new things I didn't know about. My most interest is in the grass cutter because it have a little plenty more work to do as it's small, but once you get your problem, you can fix it, taking your time, and remember everything you're doing.
Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Mrs. Letitia Lestrade-Wyke, says programs like these are important to the development of the youth.
The Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development plays a significant part in the development of our young people. Our role includes the provision of social and economic programs aimed at enhancing community empowerment, alleviating poverty, improving the quality of life for all citizens, as well as building human capacity for sustainable development in Dominica. Therefore, the programs and activities which are organized and implemented contribute to both the professional and personal development of those of you who participate.
She urged the participants to make good use of the training they have received.
I congratulate you. However, you must be cognizant of the fact that in spite of the efforts of the Youth Division and the Ministry by extension, you must play your part and ensure that what you were taught, you put it into practice. Do not look at this as a one-time training and think that's all it is, but instead as having been empowered with a skill that will enable you to do much more than that. What I would like to advise you today is to build on what you have been taught, and further aim to continuously improve and become the best that you can be.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. Dominica's annual Hike Fest, spearheaded by the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, DHTA, has come to an end after a thrilling month of activities in May 2024. From hiking various segments of the Waitukubuli National Trail to the night hike, Hike Fest 2024 merged both history and nature.
We had, oh my God, great Hike Fest, okay? And one of the things that really made it great are the participants. So this year we decided to do hikes that incorporated history. That's one of the beautiful things about Dominica. Just about all of our hiking trails, it's almost like you're walking in the path of our ancestors, right? And that is an exhilarating feeling to have. For the first hike, we invited high schools to participate. We got participants from Convent High School, and those young ladies were troopers, let me tell you. So for that hike, we had 54 hikers for the first hike. For the second hike, we had a group here from Martinique. We had a hiking group from Martinique. They're coming back next year, by the way. They already planned on next year. We had 74 hikers. Third hike, we had 56. And the last hike, we had 80. The night hike, we had 80. That was our biggest night.
Dominica's Hike Fest is distinguished by the vast number of trails, which cater to both the ability and interests of individuals.
Dominica is blessed with so many things, right? Our rivers, our rainforest, our oceans. We have all of these things. But what we do have, because of our terrain, we have hiking trails that are I won't say easy, right? They're moderate, moderate to extremely, extremely challenging. And so we run the gamut. So we have something to attract hikers who do not traditionally hike. They'll do a long walk from, now and then. And we have those that want that thrill-seeking, adrenaline pumping kind of hike. And we have that for all the different groups.
The success of this year's festival is thanks to the collaborative effort between local hiking groups and DHTA.
What we wanted to do is, particularly considering we had not had a hike fest in about 4 years, we wanted it to be as accessible to as many people of the varying levels as possible. So these hiking clubs were very instrumental in walking us through what's the condition of the trails, how long it really takes, because it's one thing for somebody to say it takes, 4 hours, but with regular people it will take you 4.5 to 5, right? So all of the condition of the trail, are they cleared? What sort of obstacles? So which ones do we need? Rope, so we know we can tell people if you have risk issues, that may not be the hike for you.
DHTA plans on building upon the success from this year's Hike Fest.
One of the things we're working on this morning is what's going to be our marketing plan between now and Hike Fest next year. So for example, we realized sending out a late invitation to regional groups, it's not effective. So we're sending that out now so they can, because we know the dates, right? So they can plan out their calendar and include us in their calendar for 2025. The other thing we're going to do is select the hiking trails early. We're going to do a formal launch. So we want to do the formal launch probably around Creole Festival, because again we'll have a lot of people from not just the region and especially from the French West Indies, who are really a ferry ride away, to get the awareness out of what Hike Fest is, what the experience is like, and that we are formally inviting any and everybody to come down and participate in this activity.
Ms. Williams expressed her gratitude on behalf of DHTA to sponsors, stakeholders and participants who contributed to the success of HikeFest 2024. The cobblestone sidewalks in the city are receiving a facelift. The City Council is working on enhancing the sidewalks on Cross Street and other areas in an effort to preserve the local tradition. Mason Joseph Baptist says his goal is to try to bring back the cobblestone works to its original form.
The limestone it's good, I think it's better than the concrete. Yeah, because if you watch how the stones place in the ground itself, you'll never see it's limestone that there. You swear it's concrete.
So you're saying these guys back then, they knew what they would do?
Oh, yeah, man. If you pull out one of the stones there now, it's like a tooth. You see how the tooth have that little point going down? That's exactly how it is. Yeah, no, nothing removing that, man. So the concrete is okay. I mean, we cannot do nothing better than that. But if the last year was wrong, I think you place it back the same way. So you won't be able to see the concrete on the stone. You just see the naked stone.
The restored cobblestone sidewalks will enhance the ambience within the city streets, something which is likely to be an added attraction for visitors.
The benefit for it for tourism is like around the city itself, the stones is very, very, very important because it brings back the days of slavery, So once you come in the town and you see the original stone, it's amazing, man, to see that. Because it's not anywhere in the Caribbean I think you would go to find those stones, And what City Council is doing to preserve that, it's very good.
Mr. Baptist has been involved in a number of cobblestone enhancement projects around the city.
If you go in front of the People's Park and in front of DOWASCO, then you will see the work, Yeah. So I think that is it.
So what are you hearing from people? What are people saying?
Well, every living body that passes here is appraised. Yeah, not one that would. Everybody is good work and they appreciate it, preserve the stone for the country, and that's good.
Coming up next, the Creole News highlights with Jeno Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouveau Creole, nom c'est Jeno Jacob. DOWASCO, autorité Glo et puis Souage Dominique, j'ai fait préparation pour cyclone, saison cyclone ça là. Nous parlons et puis officier public DOWASCO qui mène Saint-Jean.
Tous les années, DOWASCO a un comité avec management pour faire décision quand ça nous fait si nous cyclone ou bien si nous storm. Nous déjà connaître les l'eau la pluie, il y a des boulages, il y a live kalesan et c'est un live là ça nous a tapé gros. On ça nous pour mettre un plan ensemble pour ça en situation là ça nous qui fait. So nous jamais été plan là, plan là qui existé mais toute l'année nous avons gardé plan là, nous avons voir ça nous a changé, ça nous a fait meilleur pour l'année passée. Comme ça, management, nous avons joint, avec communication, tout ça, nous avons joint, et nous avons plan là pour action si en tout cas il y a un cyclone ou bien il y a un storm qui a passé à Dominica.
Et dis-nous ça plan qu'a adressé.
Le plan là qu'a gardé toute qualité, comme on dit, qu'a gardé code communication, comment nous allons communiquer avec le monde, les nous avons un cyclone qui a venu, ça nous a dit moun yo pour faire, et bien ça nous a dit nous-mêmes nous allons faire. So nous avons action nous avons pour fermer l'eau là, fermer ces tanks là. So l'eau sale passe à rentrer dans l'eau net. So nous avons pour ça, nous avons pour mettre gros machines. So si nous avons un gros désastre, nous avons pris moins de temps pour aller vers tirer débris à la rivière ou à la chimère. So nous allons faire qui travaille pour faire tout de suite.
DOWASCO un équipement pour répondre à un désastre. Mais ça, public là, ça fait pour préparer.
Nous avons nous accueillir, nous avons assistant, nous avons une liste de contracteurs, de gens qui ont une machine qui ça aide nous aussi. So, si nous avons une situation, nous n'avons pas assez pour faire nous-mêmes, nous avons tapé ces gens là pour aider nous. Mais pour l'instant, nous avons dit nous satisfaire avec ça. Nous avons toujours une place pour nous plus, mais nous satisfaire avec ça à présent.
Ça public là, ça fait pour un DOWASCO.
Eh bien, nous avons toujours dit monde pour pas de l'eau. Parce qu'en désastre, en la pluie, ou pas jamais connaître ce qui est fait, nous avons pour faire de l'eau. So, pas de l'eau. Fait cette on est assez de l'eau, nous avons toujours dit 1 gallon pour chaque monde qui a resté en casa pour 3 jours à 2 semaines. Parce que si c'est un gros désastre, ou que besoin plus de l'eau. Et bien, ça c'est juste de l'eau pour boire. Mais ou besoin de l'eau pour baigner, ou besoin de l'eau aussi pour faire manger, ou besoin de l'eau pour nettoyer. Et bien, si on est monde qui est malade, et bien, on est des petits enfants, pas plus de l'eau.
Des jeunes hommes font training en réparation de engine. Ça c'est FO Youth Skills Training pour jeunes gens en division développement jeunes gens ici. Training prend place en R&C Auto en Kenfield. M. Kimbell Jules Trenio. Ces jeunes hommes-là bien contents pour training là. Ils remercient division jeunes gens pour investissement en la vie. Secrétaire d'Iwan en ministre développement communauté, Adicia Burton dit programme comme ça qu'a développé jeunes gens. Council Ozo a fait préparation pour saison cyclone, mais Ozo Emin Roye dit nous contre préparation.
Nous parlons de ce monde-là, solid waste, pour travailler avec nous, pour tirer ces bioactifs là, pour connaître si on a venir, nous les biter primaire, nous parlons de ces bioactifs là, le vent pour faire damage, nous parlons de mais nous faisons qu'il y ait encore, nous ne pouvons pas rester pour les nous tannent, biter qui venir pour nous, nous faisons qu'il y ait encore, nous faisons ça, nous faisons.
Joseph Baptiste qui travaille et puis Council Ville Ozo. Et qui a réparé chemin wash en ville là.
Nous commençons ça depuis dimanche, community service. Oui, et puis nous avons continué depuis lundi, nous continuons encore. Aujourd'hui, mardi, nous avons allé pour ça.
Et puis, vous avez un travail qui est significant.
Oui, c'est un travail qui apporte là pour le pays là. Puis pour mener M. Wash la vie à terre, pour m'aider. C'est un bon bagage pour nous.
Alors, comment était un slab?
Eh bien, c'est slab. il passe ni concrete à design. C'est un bagage qui est la chaud. Si vous fouillez, vous pouvez la chaud la style là. Mais actuellement, il n'y a pas de la chaud sur nos caméras.
Eh bien, combien de temps il faut que vous faites ça?
Eh bien, je vais regarder ça. Nous arrivons juste par écrit. So peut-être 2 semaines, 3 semaines pour faire ça.
Ça, c'est tout à ce nouvel en créole. Non, monsieur Geno Jacob. Au revoir.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I am Adicia Burton. Thank you for watching.